whoosh. I just unleashed the belting banshee, my special conquering spell, towards the Death Eater. With an ear-piercing screech, they beat a hasty retreat. "Come on, people, let's get out of here," I called out to the Secret Seven. Percy, Ron, Hermione, Lyra, Katniss, and my primary school mate, Luca. We hopped onto a teleporter and zipped our way to Neverland. I love to read. Always have. But I realised early in my life that books were magical, gateways to parallel universes. And in these universes, I formed new connections. I would feel the thrill of Harry's adventures. I was Hermione for practical purposes, just born in a different decade. I loved Hagrid and I feared the Death Eaters. I bonded with Percy Jackson and the pantheon of Greek and Roman gods and goddesses. The list goes on. Whoever thought that fictional characters were just that, fictional, doesn't know me. These connections weren't fictional or virtual. They were very real. In a world full of distractions, pressures, and expectations, I can say that it is my connections that have helped keep me strong, grounded, and balanced. Of course, real-life connections are super important too. I know I can talk to my parents and my sister about anything. We have robust debates, laugh, cry, shout, giggle, and argue. I have a good diverse group of friends here at Alleyns. We're all in this together, every day. That bond is special. But beyond real-life connections, I've also come to rely on, let's call them storybook connections. I didn't plan for it this way. I've always been an avid reader, and right from an early age, I've loved losing myself in books and parallel universes, immersing myself into their streams of consciousness. Over the years, I've embarked on thousands of adventures, meeting a handful of kind, funny, bizarre characters along the way. I fought alongside Harry Potter in the Battle of Hogwarts. I've lived with Scout and Atticus Finch in Harper Lee's Maycomb County. The Percy Jackson series was my introduction to the motley crew of Greek and Roman gods and goddesses. And so, when I visited New York and the Empire State Building, I was keen to visit Mount Olympus on the top floor. I've often looked for Diagon Alley off Oxford Street, and who hasn't tried to bang their trolleys between platform 9 and 10 at King's Cross Station? I know I have. Years ago, in primary school, through, let's say, challenging double periods of maths, I've often wanted to use Matilda-like powers of telekinesis and scare our form tutor into letting us leave early. When battling the highs and lows of life every week, I draw inspiration from several of my storybook connections. Hermione Granger has always been and will always be my go-to friend when it comes to schoolwork. Anne from Green Gables is always there when I need a friend to laugh and joke around with. But when it comes to strength, courage, and ingenuity, Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games is my greatest confidant, giving me strength when I need it the most. Books, and my storybook connections, have shaped the way in which I see the world, and they are a good complement to my real-life friends and family. I invite you to try it. Besides the fact that life would be infinitely more boring without stories, stories help to develop the human mind in a way I don't think any technological machine will ever be able to replace or copy. Think, for a moment, about a world with no Gruffalo, no Harry Potter, Avangelis and a void where Roald Dahl's colourful characters used to be. All the characters that shape the way in which I see the world have come alive in my imagination. And I believe it's just that, our intrinsic need to imagine, that keeps the human species special and different from any AI machine. As the famous poet George Bernard Shaw once said, "Imagination is the beginning of creation. You create what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last, you create what you will." So, my friends, while holding on to your real-life connections, do not forget to lose yourself in a book and build a few storybook connections along the way. Have fun, and thank you.